going to be leading you in a little bit of Tai Chi, and this is Dr. Paul Lamb's Tai Chi for fall prevention and arthritis. So the first thing I want you to do is walk around, heel toe, and open and close your hands a little bit. If you have a small place, that's okay, just walk in place. And really take your time. Make sure you're breathing. And let's slowly make our way back to 2 feet with our knees slightly bent. So in Tai Chi, we never lock our knees. And the first thing we're going to do is warm up our neck. So we're going to bring our hands up. We're going to push our hands back. Back out. And eyes are following hands. And we're breathing deeply. Think about moving with a little bit of resistance. So pretend you're maybe in a bowl of Jell-O or a block of tofu, and you're cutting through it. Okay, keep that same feeling of resistance as we continue through our warm-up. Next thing we're going to do is warm up our shoulders. So we're going to pretend that our hands are on a drum. One hand is going to come up. We're going to look over our middle finger, and we're going to move out about 70%. Back to the center. And switch. Make sure you're breathing and that your knees aren't locked. Try to have your back nice and tall with a little bit of space in between each of your vertebrae. And as you switch hands, pretend like your palms are just saying hi to each other. One more time each side. If you want, you can go a little bit further. All right, let's continue warming up our shoulders. So we're going to do some small shoulder rolls forward. Breathing. Now we're going to go backwards, and these ones are the big ones. And the reason why the ones at the back are bigger is because if you're sitting a lot, maybe you're hunching over your shoulders for a long time during the day, so we want to counteract that. Okay, let's gather the energy around a big beach ball and push it down. If you want, do a little bit of a knee bend. Big deep breaths. move on to our spine. So we're gonna hold a little smaller of a ball, and our bottom hand is gonna grow up and pretend like you're blocking the sun. And both arms extend. Now we're doing the other side. Bottom hand comes through and grows up and extends. So as we're doing this, we want to pretend like we're moving from our center, which is a little bit below our belly button. So our limbs are extending from that point. I forgot to say in the beginning that if you need to do these sitting down, you are more than welcome to. All of these exercises can be done seated. Okay, let's continue warming up our spine. So we're going to hold that same small ball. Knees aren't locked, and we're going to move towards our top hand. So out about 70% again. Then we're going to rotate that ball and move towards the other side, toward our top hand. Remember that concept of resistance, like you're moving through some jello or some tofu, and breathing deeply. And as you get more comfortable with this exercise, think about if I'm moving towards my right, then my right hip is starting to move. So initiating from my hip, rotating, now initiating with the other hip. And come back to the center. All right, that completes our spine series. So now we're going to move on to our hips. And to start, we're going to pretend like we have a friend in front of us who's the same size as us. And we're going to put our hands on his or her shoulders. Then we're going to move our hands back. And as I move my hands back, one heel is coming forward. Then everything comes to the center. My hands go back to the front, and my foot goes back. Back to the center, and continue. Heel forward, hands back, center, hands forward, foot back. And if this is pretty simple for you and you want a little bit more of a challenge, then go ahead and move your foot directly through without pausing in the center. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine to tap that foot down and then go to the front and the back. And I'm going to do one more. And now I'm going to get ready for the other side. So remember, knees are not locked. Friend in front of you, same size as you, hands back, foot forward. And center. Hands forward, foot back. You don't need to match my pace. Go as slow as you'd like to. And remember, if you'd like a challenge, then go ahead and move that foot directly through without putting it down. Otherwise, go back to the center. And I'm going to do one more. And center. Okay, we're going to continue with our hips. So now we're going to pretend like we're in between two walls. And I'm going to put my hands against one of the walls. My bottom hand is under the elbow. So if I'm pushing against a wall on my left, then my right foot is coming out. And now I'm going to switch everything. So other foot taps out while I press against the other wall. And remember to breathe. Don't lock your knees. Remember that feeling of resistance and some space in between each vertebrae. And back to the center. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our knees. So we're going to turn our feet slightly out, just a little bit, and hands in a loose fist in front of your hips. Okay, so we're going to touch one toe forward, and the opposite hand is going to punch. Give me that same feeling of resistance as you did earlier. Now everything switches. When I teach Tai Chi, I notice that it's difficult for a lot of people to think about doing the opposite hand, opposite foot. I see a lot of this, so make sure you really think about that feeling of opposition. And one of the great things about Tai Chi is that it works your brain as well as your body. Punching through with resistance, breathing, and if you'd like a little more of a challenge, you can go ahead and lift that front foot. Otherwise, go ahead and keep it on the floor. So either on the floor or lift it. We're going to continue with this, but now we're going to put some weight on our front foot. So a little bit of a lunge and punching still with the opposite hand. And everything switches. Mentioned earlier about moving from your center, so try to continue thinking about that. And if this is too much for you, you can go back to just tapping your toe on the floor like you did earlier. Otherwise, continue on with your lunges. Okay, that's the end of our knee warm-up. So now we're going to move on to our ankles. So continuing with our hands in front of our hips, toes slightly out. We're just going to go on one foot and do a little heel toe. Still breathing deeply. Other side. Okay, now we're going to do Some people like to call it bunion core. Inside, outside. And this one is really important in fall prevention. It helps with those muscles that help you not to twist your ankle. And we're just going to finish out with the other side. With a little bit of a cool down, so we're going to gather that energy around us once again and put it inside you. Okay, now we're going to squeeze everything and relax. Relax. If you want, go on your toes while you squeeze. Relax. And one more time. Relax. We're just going to march it out. So again, this was Tai Chi for fall prevention and arthritis. This is the warm-up series. My name's Robyn. Thank you so much for joining me in this Tai Chi warm-up, and stay safe.